Hello and welcome to my science tutorials. In today's video, we want to look at multiple choice questions on cell biology. So without further ado, let's begin. So these are the WAEC past questions that came on cell biology from 1993 up till date. So I'll be going through them one after the other, all the questions that came on cell biology. So let's have a look at the first question. So we have question number 1. Find protoplasmic threads linking protoplasm to adjacent cells are. So the question is demanding that find protoplasmic threads that link protoplasm to the adjacent cells are called. So the find protoplasmic threads that link protoplasm together is what we call the plasmodesmata. Question number 2. Which of the following organelles is the site of energy production? Now, if you study the cell theory or the cell biology really well, you realize that among the options given to us: A, mitochondrion; B, endoplasmic reticulum; C, the nucleus; and D, Golgi body or Golgi apparatus. The mitochondrion A is termed as the energy production or the site for energy production. Question number 3. The importance of turgidity of the cells of herbaceous plants is that it: A, facilitates transpiration; B, prevents plasmolysis; C, provides mechanical support; and D, facilitates uptake of mineral salts. So the importance of turgidity in the cells of herbaceous plant is basically to provide mechanical support for the plant to be able to stand on its own. Question number 4. Plant cells do not burst when placed in hypotonic solution because: A, rigidity is provided by the cell; B, the influx of the solvent is the same in opposite direction; C, excess water is excreted by the membrane; and D, osmosis has no effect on plant cells. Now the question is demanding why plant cells do not burst when we put them in a hypotonic solution. Now they do not burst when we place them in hypotonic solution because of the rigidity that the cell wall provides to the cell. So the answer is rigidity is provided by the cell. Question number 5. If amoeba was placed in a salt solution, the contractile vacuoles would: A, be seen to be bursting more frequently; B, not be formed at all; C, be formed less frequently; and D, grow bigger before it bursts. Now, if you place amoeba in a salt solution, you realize that the contractile vacuole will be formed less frequently. So that is the answer for this particular question. Question number 6. Which of the following is not found in the animal cell? A, cytoplasm; B, water; C, nucleus; D, cellulose. Now, for animal cell, we have the cytoplasm, we have water inside, we have the nucleus. So the only option that we do not have in an animal cell is D, which is the cellulose, which is part of the which is made of the cell wall. Okay, the cell wall of a plant cell is made of cellulose. So since we don't have a cell wall in an animal cell, we lack the cellulose as well. Question number 7. Which of the following processes is an example of osmosis? A, water from the soil into the root hairs; B, oxygen from the blood to the tissues; C, glucose from the ileum into the blood capillaries; D, carbon dioxide from the tissues into the blood capillaries. Now, if you know the definition of osmosis, you realize that this is pretty easy and pretty straightforward. Osmosis involves the movement of water, whilst diffusion involves the movement of any gas particle. Now, since the question is asking which of the following is an example of osmosis, even if you don't know what the answer is, the fact that option A has water, movement of water inside, and option B has oxygen, C has glucose, and D has carbon dioxide makes option A the correct answer. So the answer over here is water from the soil into the root hairs. Question number 8. The protoplasm of a cell consists of: A, cytoplasm only; B, nucleus only; C, nucleus and cytoplasm only, and D, nucleus, cytoplasm, and membrane. Now, when we talk about the protoplasm of a cell, we are referring to the nucleus and the cytoplasm only. So the correct answer over here is C, nucleus and cytoplasm only. Question number 9. When red blood cells are placed in hypotonic solutions, the cells will A, absorb ions, B, become turgid, C, become wrinkled, D, undergo hemolysis. The question is asking when red blood cells are placed in hypertonic solution. So when we place red blood cells in hypertonic solution, because of the high concentration of solvent in the hypertonic solution is going to take water or moisture out of the red blood cells. So when that happens, the red blood cell will shrink and become wrinkled. So the correct answer over here is C. The red blood cells become wrinkled. Question number 10. The term diffusion refers to the movement of particles A, across a semi-permeable membrane, B, from one region to another region, C, from a region of lower concentration to that of a higher concentration, and D, from a region of higher concentration to that of a lower concentration. Now, if you look at option A, it is only osmosis that involves the transfer of water or the movement of water via a semi-permeable membrane. Diffusion doesn't need a membrane, so option A is out. Now, diffusion, option B says from one region to another region. Now, from one region to another region, yes, diffusion involves the movement from one region to another region, but it has to do with the concentration. One has to be lower, one has to be higher. Okay, so this one, the B does not specify, so the B is also out. Now let's look at option C. From a region of lower concentration to a region of higher concentration. No, diffusion happens when we have movement of gas particles from where they are highly concentrated to a region where they are lowly, or there's a lower concentration until equilibrium is established. So the correct answer over here is D. That is from a region of higher concentration to that of a lower concentration. Question number 11. Which of the following processes involves osmosis? Now, this is a repetition. So, A, movement of water through the xylem. B, loss of water vapor from the stomata. C, translocation of food through the phloem. And D, absorption of water from the soil by the root. Now, it says which of the following process involves osmosis? If you look at the first one, it says option A, movement of water through the xylem, and option D, absorption of water from the soil by the root. Now, if you look at option B, loss of water vapor from the stomata, loss of water vapor, but osmosis involves movement of water, not water vapor. So option B is out. Translocation of food is also out. Now, movement of water, which is option A, movement of water through the xylem, and then absorption of water from the soil to the root. If you look at option D, it best describes osmosis since the water concentration in the soil is higher, so it therefore passes from where there's a high concentration of water through the root into the plant where there's a low concentration of water. So option D is the correct answer over here. So which of the following processes involves osmosis? Is the absorption of water from the soil by the root. Question number 12. The shrinking of the cytoplasm away from the cell wall is referred to as A, active transport, B, osmosis, C, plasmolysis, and D, translocation. Now, active transport is the movement of water, okay, with the against the concentration gradient or the semi-permeable membrane with the use of energy. So active transport involves the use of energy. Now, the question is saying shrinking of cytoplasm, so it has nothing to do with active transport. Osmosis involves the movement of water from its region of high concentration, so this is no movement of water, so osmosis is also out. Translocation, there's no displacement of any food particle from one place to another, so it is out. So the only option that we have over here is plasmolysis, and that is also the correct answer. So plasmolysis is the term used to describe the shrinking of the cytoplasm away from the cell wall of a cell. Question number 13. When a red blood cell is placed in distilled water for a very short time, the cell will A. burst, B. increase in size, C. remain the same size, and D. shrink. Now, if we place red blood cells in distilled water, the first thing that's going to happen is that since the red blood cell has a higher concentration of solvent, and then the distilled water has higher concentration of water, there will be movement of water from the distilled water into the red blood cells. Now, if you keep the red blood cells in the water for a very long time, it is going to burst. But the question is saying that when a red blood cell is placed in distilled water for a very short time, so for a very short time, you only see increase in the size of the red blood cell, and it will not burst as at that time unless you leave it for a long time. So the correct answer over here is option B, increase in size. Question number 14. Which of the following processes is brought about by diffusion? A. Shrinking of the cell wall by hypertonic solution. B. Passage of water from the soil into the hair. C. Bursting of erythrocytes in hypertonic solution. And D. Passage digested food from the villi into the blood. Right, so the question is saying which of the following processes is brought about by diffusion? Shrinking of cell wall has nothing to do with diffusion. Passage of water from soil into the hair is by osmosis, not diffusion. Bursting of erythrocytes in the hypertonic solution has nothing to do with diffusion. So the only option we have left is D, that is the passage of digested food from the villi into the blood, and that is the correct answer, D. Question number 15. Which of the following components is a tissue? A. Leaf of a plant. B. Flower of a plant. C. Motor neuron of mammal. And D. Blood of a mammal. Now, the question is saying which of the following components is a tissue? The blood of a mammal is a tissue. So the correct answer over here is option D. Question number 16. One important function of the cell membrane is to A. Offer protection against mechanical injury. B. Regulate the movement of substance to and from the cell. C. Gives definite shape to the cell. And D. Provide site for chemical processes. Now, the question is saying which of the one important function of the cell membrane is to offer protection against mechanical injury is the role of a cell wall, not the cell membrane. Now, it gives definite shape. No, the cell membrane is flexible, so it doesn't give a definite shape. It's the cell wall that gives a definite shape to a cell. Now, provide sites for chemical processes. No, that does not happen. The only thing the cell membrane does is that it regulates the movement of substances into and out of the cell. So the correct answer over here is B. Regulates the movement of substance to and from the cell. Question number 17. The characteristics component of plant cell wall is A. Cellulose, B. Lignin, C. Pectin, and D. Tannin. Now, the cell wall of plant cell contains the cellulose. So the correct answer over here is option A, the cellulose. Question number 18. Which of the following parts of an organism is a tissue? A. Blood of a mammal. B. Flower of a plant. C. Leaf of a plant. And D. Motor neuron of a mammal. Now, this is the same question as question number 15, just that they've changed, they've reframed the question, and they've changed the options of the answers. So, which of the following parts of an organism is a tissue? The blood of a mammal is a tissue. So, it's an example of an organism, part of an organism that is a tissue. Now, question number 19. The movement of substances against concentration gradient in organism is referred to as A. Active transport, B. Diffusion, C. Osmosis, D. Rapid translocation. Now, the movement of substances against the concentration gradient. Under normal circumstances, substances cannot move against the concentration gradient. They move along the concentration gradient. Unless there is an external force, okay, there's an external force causing the substance to move against the concentration gradient, it doesn't happen. So in diffusion, we don't see that happening. In osmosis, no. Rapid translocation, no. But in active transport, we have movement of substances against the concentration gradient by the use of external force or some energy. So the correct answer over here is option A, which is active transport. Question number 20. Which of the following processes is achieved through diffusion? A. Movement of water from the soil into the root hairs. B. Bursting of erythrocytes in hypertonic solution. C. The passage of digested food from the villi into the blood capillaries. And D. The shrinking of the cytoplasm from the cell wall in the hypertonic solution. Now, this is also a repetition. Say which of the following processes is achieved through diffusion? So movement of water is osmosis, so option A is out. Bursting of erythrocyte in hypertonic solution has nothing to do with diffusion, so it's out. Option D, the shrinking of cytoplasm from the cell wall also has nothing to do with diffusion, so it's also out. So the only option we have left is option C, which is the passage of digested food from the villi into the blood capillaries. So option C is our answer over here. So thank you so much for watching. This is the part 1 of the cell biology multiple choice questions. Now, if you realize throughout the tutorial, some questions based on what you know about the question, you try to eliminate some of the possible options and you'll be left with 2 or 1 option, and that is most likely going to be your answer. So when you're solving multiple questions, always think about the question. There are some possible answers that has nothing to do with the question. Eliminate those ones, and then the ones that are left, try and analyze the question and see which of them best satisfy the question that you've been given. So thank you once again for watching, and I will see you in the part 2 of the cell biology multiple choice question. Bye bye.